Hi. After posting my video earlier today, I received several emails, and one stood out for me where I was asked by a guy who feels that he has compromised as he should in a relationship, and he now feels as if his partner is no longer really interested. He feels as if he has compromised and given himself away, and he's asking where did he went wrong, and if he has compromised as he should and he has truly loved his partner because he really does love his partner, why is it that he feels that the attraction is no longer there and his relationship is on the rocks? It's interesting for me with this topic because it is something that I had a conversation with someone close to me recently, and it was a very difficult pill for that person to swallow, simply because we have been told all our lives that actually there are thousands of books on compromise out there. I myself purposely have read about, I would say about 10 of them or 11 of them, and I came to the conclusion, having looked at what was said in those books and what is said from a scripture standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint, and from a relationship standpoint. And I mean a relationship with great depth. I am of the view that no relationship should ever have compromise. Compromise actually hurts a relationship, and what happens is someone always tend to lose when you compromise. I believe a relationship should have sacrifice, and from a relationship standpoint, there should never ever be compromise. And I say that is because when you compromise, somebody always lose. And you feel after a while of compromising over and over that you have given up all of yourself and you feel like there is nothing else. And so you start to end up being in a relationship where you are not yourself, simply because you want to please one partner or the other. So, for example, if someone wants to buy a car, let's say a man's wife wants to buy a car, and he doesn't like the brand because he's not comfortable with it, what tends to happen over time, if she complains and says she really likes it, because of love, he tends to want to please her. And so he would then say, okay, let's get the car. And what happens over time is there's a slight resentment that comes about with the car. So his interest in maybe washing the vehicle, checking to make sure it's fully maintained, etc., is never ever really going to be as it should, simply because, and especially if the car is a lemon or there's something wrong, he's going to come back and say, but I told you, remember I told you that is a vehicle you should never buy. You wanted to do your own thing, and then that's a cause for an argument. And if it's not a lemon, he will always hold it in his mind, and it's going to be a built-up something. And when you add that scenario with the thousands of others that can pop up in a relationship, over time, resentment builds. And what you have is a relationship where both parties are feeling a kind of way about the other. And then slowly but surely the attraction tends to decrease because the polarity in the relationship has weakened. And most times when two people stay in a relationship with that, even though they actually still love each other, they become simply best friends but not lovers. Not a man with a woman, and the attraction is out the door. But when you look at it from a standpoint of sacrifice, it means that because I love this person and I know how much it means to them and I know it's going to make the other person happy, I am willing to give up my position on this, and I willingly give it up without pressure, without being forced or feeling forced. I come to you tomorrow and I say, listen, let's don't buy the vehicle I want. I don't really like it, but hear what? I'm willing to go with you on this because maybe the brand has changed and maybe it's a good vehicle and I'm looking at it wrong. So let's get the vehicle and let's see what happens. If it doesn't work out, we just sell it. When that position is taken where one sacrifices how they feel about a particular item or a particular position willingly and independently, then no one feels like it's lost. In fact, what it does, it actually builds attraction. Both parties are happier. The man's testosterone goes up, the woman's estrogen and oxytocin goes up, and they will have an amazing night, amazing week, simply because both parties feel that they came closer to each other because together they decided on something in harmony. So when you look at compromise and you look at sacrifice, sacrifice is the one that always works in a relationship. Compromise is the easy way out, and I believe, as I said before, compromise is the main reason. Now, a man especially, why it's so easy for women to want compromise. And I know this is going to be a very difficult pill for most women to swallow, but some women get it. A man should never compromise as an individual. I'm talking about an individual standpoint now, not a relationship or where two people are making a decision together. I'm talking about where one party is causing another one to feel or compromise on something. A man should never compromise. Compromising from that vantage point is for something that women tend to do. And the world that we are in now, and with television and everything is structured, causes men to give up their position on stuff. And then what happens, even though many women may not even be aware of this, every time a man actually compromises his position on things, the attraction fades, and she may not even understand what is happening, and the woman even may not understand why. And when her attraction fades, he feels it, and his testosterone drops, which means his attraction drops, and then again the polarity in the relationship tends to fade slowly and slowly. One feels disrespected, another feels hurt, because that's the position of both male and female and how they see it. And then somebody's unhappy, and most times because it's an emotional position, because women are centered around feeling loved and cherished, the woman tends to want to leave the relationship, and hence you have 75% of relationships in the world where women are actually being the ones to ask for divorce because they're not happy and they don't feel loved. And the reason it's much easier for a woman to take the position of wanting to compromise on something is because a woman can say, I love you now, and 5 minutes after, based on what happened, say, I hate you. And then based on how the man responds to what is happening in the situation, she can come back and say, I love you, I really, really love you, and I'm sorry. All happening within 10 minutes. A man, however, in his manly frame, will never do something like that. A man, in fact, can tell you, I love you in January. And he expects you to understand and know that he still loves you in December because he said, I love you in January. Women, on the other hand, wants the man and needs the man, in most cases, to say, I love you constantly, because her emotions shift constantly within seconds or minutes or hours. And a man is less emotional and more logical. So he would say, I told you that. I don't need to tell you again. So both parties are operating from totally different vantage points. And if we don't understand that, where a man must never compromise his position as an individual, and together in a relationship, simply because most relationships should be led by a man, then there should never be compromise in that relationship either. Okay? So I hope that the gentleman who posted his email, who sent the email to me requesting some type of information as to what may have gone wrong in his relationship, I hope he understands. I'll reach out to you again soon, brother, and you tell me how you feel about it and what is happening in your relationship. And if need be, I can have a conversation with you and your partner to better have you both understand what is needed for a long-lasting relationship. Okay, guys, so again, my email will be up by the end of this week. It's called Created from Chaos. I'm actually thinking about naming it the Love Created from Chaos. My YouTube channel is up and my videos will be posted shortly. It's Created from Chaos on YouTube. And you can also email me at creativefromchaos@hotmail.com. Okay, send me 2 paragraphs. Don't make it too lengthy. If your story is one that you want me to share and I can use in future videos to create a better understanding for those who have not seen my videos before, don't know what to do in certain situations in a relationship. Just send it to me, 2 paragraphs. Please be direct. Please try to write as legible as you can and use proper grammar so that I will understand what you're saying. And I will try to get back to you either by email or post your videos and post a video on your topic to better create an understanding and an opening for understanding of what we are actually discussing. If you need me to do a consultation with you on a relationship or business or your general life and health, I am willing to do it free for the next month. So if anyone wants to have that consultation with me or reach out with me, send me an email. I will not charge. I will do my best to give you the advice needed in your business, in your relationship, or on an individual, be you a man or a woman, because I do actually have more women that I actually counsel than men. And so it's not a man thing because I'm a man. We're talking about relationships, better understanding relationships, and the people who have all spoken to me, I think if you ever meet one of them, they will vouch that I try to be as biased as possible. Okay, guys? So again, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Feel free to send me an email. It's creativefromks@hotmail.com, and I'll talk to you soon.